beyond virtually any health book you can find, with practical instructions and often laugh-out-loud parenting moments thrown in for leavening. Read it, have a ball, be inspired, and heal. Howard Strauss, Carmel, California, 2018. Introduction. My mom and grandma raised me on real food. Thanks to our African and East Indian heritage, our home was always filled with simmering stews and soups, warm-baked potatoes and okra, curried veggies and whole-grain rice, and tons of fresh, crunchy salads. We always had vegetables and fruits growing in the backyard. We rarely ate meat. Processed junk food like macaroni, canned soda, potato chips, or sugary granola bars, this stuff just wasn't part of our routine. I don't think I ate a single bite of junk food until I was in my early teens. That's when everything changed. The first and last time my lips tasted Kraft Dinner was when I was 29 years old, a ridiculous pregnancy craving that came back up just as fast as it went down. Clearly, my soon-to-be-born babe inside wasn't impressed. In high school, like many teenagers, I started working and earning a bit of my own money. I wish I could say that I spent my money on educational books or that I donated my money to noble charities. Not exactly. I spent my money on Diet Coke, Mars bars, Big Macs, and dishes of gravy-smothered poutine. Immediately, my body reacted to these toxins. I developed intensely painful PMS symptoms and terrible, embarrassing acne. Of course, I couldn't help but wonder, is it because of what I've been eating? I stopped eating junk food, and just like magic, my bloating, cramps, and zits disappeared. That's when I realized what my mom and grandma already knew. The food you put into your body has a direct impact on how you look and feel. This is common sense, of course, but sometimes we have to experience it in order to believe it. I graduated from high school, went to university, and pursued a career in environmental studies. Later, I went on to complete my master's in environmental education and communication at Royal Roads University. I specialized in researching toxicity in the air, water, and soil, and studying the link between pollution and chronic diseases, including cancer. Over the years, I did thousands of hours of research, wrote hundreds of papers, and reported my findings while working for nonprofits and government organizations. It was exciting work, although frustrating at times. Frustrating because even with all the knowledge we've gained about how environmental pollution can shorten our lives, many governments and companies are still doing very little to make things better. I loved my work, but most of the time, I felt powerless. I was exhausted, as I felt like I was endlessly pushing a boulder uphill, a boulder that government and corporations kept wanting to bury. Often I'd think, I'm just one person. Sure, I can keep reporting my findings and keep creating education programs and policies, but there's not much I can do to influence government policies and change all of these big systems if the other people within these organizations don't want to also make the changes. The bureaucracy within the places I worked was thick like smog, slow-moving like a big leaking oil tanker, and as resistant as 1,000 tons of toxic lead. I needed to do more, but I didn't know what. When a friend was diagnosed with recurrent breast cancer, I recalled that another friend, Bill, 10 years earlier, had also been diagnosed with cancer. It had been stage 4, terminal. Things were really bad. I remember not knowing how to respond when I heard about his diagnosis and prognosis. I remember being heartbroken and frightened for him. But rather than opting for chemotherapy, my friend did something radical. He completely transformed his eating habits. He switched to a 100% plant-based meal plan, packed with organic veggies, fruits, and nutrient-dense juices.